Paul Brunoforte, the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect, Paul Brunoforte.
I was born and raised in what is arguably the most famous city on the planet, New York City. And I have some great memories of growing up in New York City, like going to Coney Island on the weekends in the summer, roller skating in Central Park in the spring, going to 42nd Street and Times Square to go to the movies. And while kids in other cities were playing with their little Lionel toy trains, I was playing on a real train called the New York City subway system. Those were great times. But sadly, not all my memories of New York are so great. Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and anybody who's ever wanted to improve their lives. You see, I was raised by a father who unknowingly suffered from post-traumatic stress syndrome as a result of being a prisoner of war for over 3 years. And unfortunately, because of his illness, he traumatized our family, which most of us handled okay, except for my youngest sister, who resorted to drugs to help heal her emotional scars. And when she died of a drug overdose at 19 years old, my world of color turned to black and white. So I decided to abandon the city that I love and move out west. So I came to Arizona. But what I found was, it's a lot easier to change your address than it is to change your life. So here I was in Arizona after a few years, in a failed marriage, in a job I hated, still no education, when I decided to go to a sales seminar, or at least what I thought was a sales seminar, but it was so much more. My friend Joe and I arrived a little late, and as I walk into the seminar, we're trying to find our seats, I could hear the instructor saying, "You become what you think about." He said it over and over again. You become what you think about. So my buddy Joe gives me an elbow. He says, "Paul, get real close because I think I'm going to turn into a beautiful blonde." We had a lot of fun at that seminar. But what that instructor said really resonated with me. The thought that I could change my life by changing what goes into my mind, if that was true, then I was all in. So I bought the books, I bought the tapes, I went to more seminars, I even went to week-long workshops. And after a few years, I was actually offered a job as a trainer. Amazingly, on the same day that I was offered the job as a trainer was the day I met the lady who is still my wife after 33 years. Now, I didn't take that job as a trainer, but what I did do was quit the job I hated and go to college and got 2 degrees, which enabled me to find a job that I loved. And I went on in the ensuing years to go on and achieve, and in many cases, wildly exceed all my personal, financial, and career goals. And then, a few years ago, I was on the phone with my sister Carol. And like brother and sister, we talk about a million things, and we were talking about growing up in New York. And Carol asked me a somewhat philosophical question. She said, "Do you ever miss the old Paul?" And I thought, is this some kind of trick question? You know, the question like, do you still beat your wife where any answer is wrong? I didn't know what to say, and then suddenly I could feel my inner Yoda coming up. And I answered her question with a metaphorical question. I said, do you ever think a butterfly misses being a caterpillar? I don't think so. And I also don't think that a butterfly ever regrets being a caterpillar, nor does a butterfly ever become ashamed of having been a caterpillar, because it knows that it needed to be a caterpillar to become a butterfly. And so too, we can become butterflies by not having any regrets or shame for anything that's happened in our past. And what I learned was that you can change your future by changing what goes into your mind in the present. And we can control our present by controlling what goes into our mind. And this is not some new age idea. This idea is thousands of years old. As a matter of fact, the motivational speaker Harvey Mackay quotes a rabbi by the name of Hillel the Elder, who said, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. And watch your habits, they become your character. And watch your character, for that will determine your destiny. Remember, not all caterpillars become butterflies, and not all people will reach their potential. But we can change our future by changing what goes into our minds. It takes discipline, it takes hard work, and it takes perseverance and patience. But if we do that, we all can release our inner butterflies. Madam Mr. Contesh, Madam Contesh.